Hello and welcome to our review of Game of Thrones Episode 1, Winter is Coming. Today we are joined by loads of lovely people and we're going to be reviewing the pilot episode of one of the greatest TV series of all time. Let's start off with Lee.
What I'd like to say is it's good to go back to the beginning of this show because we're nearing the end of season 6, and it is good just to go right back to the beginning, the first episode, and it's so good to see all those people, the characters. I'm not giving anything away. Most of the characters are no longer in the show. And it's good to see those faces and to get to know them again. Brilliant actors in there. And a lot goes on in this episode to introduce you to all the characters, all the families. It's a good, solid episode. You've got Sean Bean, he's brilliant in anything. And my favourite actor in this episode, to be honest, is Mark Addy. I just love Mark Addy. He's an awesome actor. And also in this one, I can't remember the actress, the one who plays the Queen. She's not as, you don't find out how evil she can be in this episode. It's in later as it goes along, she does show truer colours. But for me, this is an awesome start to an epic series. And say long may it rain for a few more seasons, but for me, it's going to get a big thumbs up for me. For this episode, it's a 9.5.
So a 9.5 from Lee, great start. What does Craig think about this episode?
I really like this series. I'm only on episode 4, so at the moment on series 1. I loved how it started off in the snow scenes. I mean, the landscapes were just brilliant. The dark, I can't remember what they're called.
White Walkers.
That's it. It reminded me of when Link faces himself, like a darker version of himself. But then they turned into these weird doll-faced things. It was quite chilling. And I liked the overall production's just brilliant. The ending as well really got me. Like, I was just hooked from the final scene. I won't say what happened, so I want to spoil it, but I thought it was pretty good, and I'll give it 9.5.
Another 9.5, wow. What does Kevin think of this episode?
Well, I didn't rewatch it, so I saw it probably 1 year ago. You get all the introductions to the characters and Mr. Ned Stark, played by Sean Bean, the most deadliest actor on the planet. He dies in every movie. So, I will not say how his fate will end, but you can already guess it by his movies. Khaleesi is first very innocent until, of course, the later episodes. And you see a lot of nudity, and that's what the show was all about, and gets the most attention of it. So I was like, oh well, 1 scene, 2 5, literally 5 scenes, and I'm glad that my mother didn't come in, because she probably would have thought that I was watching erotic scenes that I did not. It was a TV show. So I will still have to see season 2, but this first episode is just awesome. So 9.5 out of 10.
Another 9.5. All the way from Germany, what does Beef Dad think of this episode?
Well, I watched it when it first aired. I've been watching it ever since. I have not seen very much of this season. I've only seen I think 3 episodes of this season so far, so don't say anything about it. The characterizations are absolutely incredible. This is a sort of fantasy series, but they have made these characters so believable, and you get so involved with them. They are absolutely brilliant. But there are little cameos here and there from people that are just extraordinary. John Arryn. I'm not giving very much away if I say that John Arryn dies.
Spoiler.
That's a small spoiler alert.
Nobody gives.
But he's played by, of all people, John Standing. John Standing is not exactly known for doing fantasy films. Brilliant performances. Lots of magical moments. Tyrion Lannister is an absolute joy to watch. He's probably one of the most entertaining actors on television. Arya Stark, played by Maisie Williams. What a brilliant kid actor she was. It's a few years later now, but absolutely brilliant. You see exactly, basically, what you're going to get throughout the whole series, really. She's just absolutely incredible. And Cersei Lannister, played by Lena Headey. What an absolute cow she is at the moment, and she's going to get worse. And what I had forgotten is that she and her brother are twins. And I'd forgotten that from the first episode, to be perfectly honest. I just thought of them as brother and sister. But they're twins.
And they got fucked in the ass.
Down, boy. And Viserys Targaryen, the brother of Daenerys, who everybody knows now as Khaleesi, but this is the episode in which she gets that title. It reminded me what a complete and utter piece of crap he is, and I remember what happened to him, and it is well deserved. And I'm quite looking forward to rewatching that episode, to be perfectly honest, because I have a rather sick sense of humour. And yeah, the Baratheons, brilliant. Mark Addy is a piece of cinema magic, a piece of television magic. He never, ever fails to deliver. He is just brilliant. For me, yeah, I'll go along with everybody else, 9.5 out of 10.
Wow, great start then to this cast. James, what is your verdict on this opening episode of Game of Thrones?
Very good episode, very good series. I have to refrain what I say here because I'm obviously caught up as Connor is. So I've got to make sure I think only on episode 1. The music's brilliant, especially when the score for Game of Thrones has always been excellent from start to finish. But the scene when the king arrives in Winterfell, it's just great. And you've got people, it's that's the Queen's twin brother, Jaime Lannister. It's loads of cool things. It's nice to see all the characters together. This is one of the only shows I can say very happily. It's a really good show where incest is acceptable and it doesn't matter. Even though it's in the show is still good. You don't usually say that about TV shows. I do like Ned Stark's awesome, especially with the great big sword. I mean, not many people remember how big Ned Stark's sword can. We'll see later on in a few seasons how big that sword actually is, because it does other purposes. I like the White Walkers. This is actually the biggest White Walker scene you pretty much see in season 1, pretty much. I like the fact that they keep the Night's Watchman alive, and obviously he deserts after what he's seen. He's not going to stay around, is he? He's like, I'm out of here, I'm gone. And nobody believes him, of course, right? Great foreshadowing. And this episode is actually very much intertwined with the next episode, what's going to air tonight as well, because they have very similar names. Winter is coming, so very excited for that. Is there anything negative I can think of the show? It's really hard for me. I mean, I can't really fault it. I love Tyrion. He's just hilarious. Anything he says makes me laugh. The Hound doesn't need to say anything and it makes me laugh. Just looking at him, he's just adorable. I like Robert. I think the only... no, I like it. Perfect. 10 out of 10. I'm giving it a 10.
A 10. That's what we were looking for. Right, my verdict. Well, mind-blowing, absolute mind-blowing, as is almost every episode of Game of Thrones. I absolutely adore this show, and it'll be a shame when it ends because it'll just be totally lost. I'm going to miss it so much. But yeah, this episode in particular was a really great start. All the characters were wonderfully introduced. As everyone's mentioned, Mark Addy as King Robert Baratheon. Brilliant actor, brilliant role. It's a shame what happened to Robert. Spoilers. I would have liked to have seen him on a bit more. But, yeah, I thought he was really great. And, of course, Sean Bean as Eddard Stark, Ned Stark. Great character. The central focus of season 1 overall, I would say. Yeah, brilliantly acted. And is probably... the head of the house that I would say is most relatable to the viewers. You've got the aristocratic leaders like the Baratheons and the Lannisters, and you've got the Targaryens who are sort of the conquerors. They want to take over what they lost, and then you've just got the Starks, which are sort of the northern. They remind me of like farmers, like they're sort of like just there to just work their way up, and they're just there to sort of just live their own means, their own life. They don't really bother with the South that much, which is why I pretty much think Ned said that Southerners don't last very long up here. Yeah, so I think that the Starks overall are the most relatable characters in Game of Thrones as a whole. But yeah, for the other cast, I think Lena Headey as Cersei, what she'll become will probably shock a lot of people. She's not half as bad here as she is in future episodes or seasons. Jaime Lannister, total arsehole in this episode, pushing Bran Stark off the tower. Yeah. He looks a bit like Prince Charming, I noticed, actually, which is quite ironic.
Spoilers,
yeah. Yeah, Daenerys Targaryen. It's great to see her acting. Recently, without spoiling anything, she's become sort of one-dimensional in that she doesn't do much but really long speeches. Yeah. Yeah, but Emilia Clarke is a great actress, and I really enjoyed Daenerys in this episode. And Harry Lloyd as her brother Viserys. I think he's really a great character, and he gets his comeuppance, which is great. Yeah, Kit Harington. It's really strange because this episode is sort of like, it doesn't focus much on Jon Snow as much as the episodes after this and seasons after this do. So it's really nice to sort of see other characters get more attention than Jon. But yeah, again, he wasn't in it as much as I originally thought he would be. But again, great character. Yeah, as Beef Dad said, Arya Stark's my favourite as well. Maisie Williams has become a great actress. She was a great actress then, but she's developed so much into a great young actress. And yeah, I think overall she's a really great character. I would say overall this episode is probably, I'll go with almost everyone else and say it's a 9.5 out of 10. So I'll open the floor up to anyone that wants to speak now then.
Well, that last scene, when I was 30 years old or 40 years old, the Game of Thrones was broadcasting on TV without the HBO subscription because somebody bought it on our TV channel. So I saw the last scene. I was really like I recorded on the video recorder. I was really like, what the hell is going on there? And then he pushed, of course, Stark's son over the edge. So that was, of course, a good ending.
I was going to say something really controversial, but then I won't because it does spoil future seasons. You see what I mean? It's very difficult for someone who's seen everything else, yeah? You got to choose your words carefully. All I'll say is Bran's really boring. That's all I'll say.
You muted, Big Dad.
Well,
my worry is for the future of it, to be perfectly honest, because it was massively funded by the EU.
The EU Social Fund?
The EU have been massively funding it.
And now the Brexit has begun.
Now the Brexit...
They've actually already said that it's not going to get affected by it. So.
They have.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
And even if it was, it'd be unlikely if it was anyway, because even if they weren't going to put the money in, we're not leaving the EU for 2 years. They'll have already filmed by then.
They would also have all the aggravation of finding new settings, locations and everything. That would have caused massive problems for it.
The reason why it's an issue for viewers who don't understand is because Game of Thrones is partially filmed in Northern Ireland, but it's also a lot of it's filmed in Spain. So travel and just complicated, boring stuff will be a lot more expensive or a lot more complicated.
So but about Game of Thrones, there are some Dutch actors and actress and some, of course, some people from Holland play in Game of Thrones here. The actor and actress.
They have a lot of Europeans in the Game of Thrones.
Carice from Houten, some other Dutch dude, I don't know, but
the Mountain have they changed the Mountain's actor 3 or 4 times, Connor? It's either 3 or 4, isn't it?
No, it's not the same actor all the time.
In the first season, the Mountain is different than the later seasons. That's true because
I never noticed that.
Yeah, you just find a scene from season 1 and season 4, you'll see the difference. The Mountain's an Icelandic actor, guys, which is kind of cool. But he's not in episode 1, so I should probably stop talking about it.
In the later episode, Joffrey is coming.
Oh God. He was in this episode, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah. Wait, he wasn't in it? He wasn't in it?
He was, yeah.
He was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for 5 seconds he was sweet, and then he was a freaking pee.
He was never sweet.
No.
You have different ideas what sweet is, my friend.
No.
He's
You know when he was with Stark's daughter. You know. It was in this episode, right?
Yes, yeah. He went on to her.
With the sword across that face, I was like, "You peep, you."
Wow. Kevin, the spoiler man today.
I just realised no one mentioned Robb Stark.
Robb Stark.
Yeah. I can't say anything because it's the latest season's the reason.
I know. It's so hard, isn't it?
It is really hard. It's like having...
But yeah, this season is awesome, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a good season overall.
Every season's awesome. That's the great thing about Game of Thrones. Every season's great.
Anyone else?
Why don't we talk about the show open? Everyone give their little thoughts on that. The intro is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the best TV show intros I've seen
Oh yeah, it's
for a
great.
long time.
It's just too long, I think. I mean, I like how they sort of go through all. It changes every season.
Yes, they change. For people who haven't seen every episode, they change because Westeros is a massive place, yeah. So they change the different places they'll be in that episode. And I like the fact that the intro shows, like Winterfell, King's Landing, and
Tyrone Lannister is just funny.
Tyrion. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Tyrion's great.
Lee looks almost conscious.
Oh, God, you do come out with some stuff sometimes.
Maybe you got killed by a White Walker. You never know. Winter's coming.
No, still recording.